Hi, I'm Lisa,
And I'm Chris.
and we're Knit Sheep. Today, it's Vlogmas.
God only knows.
I won't hazard a number, but
Yeah, that's
happy
not going to go
Vlogmas, my
well.
people. Happy Vlogmas. What are we talking about today, Chris?
Stuff. I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. We've been filming Vlogmas. So we have been talking about, our making every day. And we've gotten through all the ins and the outs and the ups and the downs. And I'm just like, I don't know that I have anything else to say now. I don't know that I ever had 24 days worth of stuff to talk
I know,
about.
right?
I think I found out I'm just not that interested.
No. Can I tell you, though, something you said yesterday inspired a change in one of the things I planned to make.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
No, it's not blame. It's inspiration. I was like, that's the idea right there. Bloop. You incepted me. And it was a good thing.
Unintentionally.
Sometimes that's the best type of inception.
So what did you change?
Okay, so what I've been talking about what I want to make next because I have a sweater on the needles. Progress, I've decided to just do a minimum of 3 rows of the color work every day, no matter what. And Crystal can tell you, no matter what time it is, I get those rows in.
I just think you should set a time cutoff because after a while, you're going to end up with rows you have to rip out anyway.
A little loopy sometimes. It's okay.
So just try to get that done before 10.
I will try.
But I would say 8. But
well, she's trying to be polite. But so I'm thinking about my vest, Beth, and I don't know if you've seen other podcasts, but I've done some swatches. And Mom and Crystal like to say I always make them swatch, but she actually sent me back to do another swatch now. Because I want to show you this mood board I did. Well, inspiration board, really. We were talking about surface crochet.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided I want to do some surface crochet on this vest.
Oh.
Because I wanted to add some color to it. And
you're going to do surface crochet and not embroidery?
Well, I'm going to do some surface crochet and a little embroidery.
Oh, geez. Okay. Don't blame that on me.
No, just a little bit. And it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Let me see. Can I make this any bigger? Oh, I can. Nice. So I'm going to add a little bit of embroidery on the cables.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do the surface crochet instead of the patterning. Because when I swatched the patterning, I just didn't like knitting it. It was too irregular for my taste. And I love the look of moss stitch, but I hate knitting it. And I said, oh, well, it's just little spots of moss stitch. No, I really just hate knitting it. So I eliminated the texture and I was going to do it just plain stockinette.
Why not choose a different texture then?
Well, yeah, I could have done that, but now I'm obsessed with color.
Okay, great.
So I'm past the point of just
That's
adding
a good
texture.
Place to be.
So I looked at some surface crochet and I decided I want to make it sort of plaidish. And those are my inspiration pieces for that. And I considered some colors I want to add. Now I have 3 color schemes here, but in truth, I've already chosen the center one. I really like this deep navy blue and the plum. And I think on the dusty pink background I have, it will really pop and bring the vest to life. So that's what's going to happen.
So are you going to do that with like thread or are you going to use other yarn?
No, I'm going to use other yarn.
Okay.
I'm going to use other yarn. This is a chunky weight yarn, so I'm thinking if I use a DK, it should be fine and easy to do.
Well, we have the yarn from the people in Philadelphia that I can never remember.
Oh, yeah. Kelborn.
In like a dark tealish color like that. That might work.
Oh, yeah. And I think I have a skein of something that's like a deep burgundy plummy color from Baroque Ultra Wool. So I have the yarn for it, and like I said, this was a color scheme I kept going back to because, as you can see, I considered some others, but that's the one that really, captured my heart. And I will be doing this type of embroidery just on the cable, just outlining the cable a little bit, just for fun. So the vest will have some color to it. It's going to have a little bit of texture because of the surface embroidery, and that was really the effect I was going for. And that was just because we were talking about surface crochet. So yes, that's your fault.
Oh, okay.
And this, it sent me back to the drawing board because now I'm creating a swatch that I will do a little sample of the surface embroidery on the surface crochet and the embroidery on, and see how it looks.
So you're gonna do the cable on that swatch as well? So
Exactly.
Okay.
The cable is going to emerge out of the side.
Alrighty then. I take no responsibility for that.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's totally your fault. I was going to do a plain stockinette vest, and then somebody said, "Oh, surface embroidery, surface crochet." I was like, "Oh, that's such a great idea."
Point.
And
you
I appreciate
were
that.
already thinking about, embroidering the surface.
Yes.
And I, was like, oh yeah, I could do some surface crochet too. I don't see how that made it my fault.
Well,
okay.
Fault is the wrong word. You incepted me, and I'm accepting the inception.
Okay, that's still. How about inspiration? How about I inspired
you? Yes. I like that word even better. You inspired me. Thank you so much. No, but really, I was like, oh, that's such a great idea. So what I'm doing on the swatch is I am making little channels by interrupting my stockinette with a purl bump, and that's right where I will do the surface crochet into those purl bumps. So I have lines already built in on the thing.
I see.
And I won't have to figure it out, on the fly. So I'm going to have some vertical channels and a couple of horizontal channels, and boom, it'll be already there for me to pick up and crochet into.
I see.
What you got going on there? I see you swatching something.
I'm not really swatching. I am trying out this hook. Actually, I've had this hook for I don't know how long. It might be 2 years now, and I never used it because I was very wedded to my Clover Amour hooks. Mm-hmm. But this is the Leica, I think it's called Driftwood.
Yeah.
Hook from KFI, and this is a 3.5 millimeter, and I've never really worked with a wooden hook before. Mm-hmm. And one thing I will say is I like it's not as slippery against the yarn as the aluminum hooks. So I do like that. But I think now that I'm trying different hooks, I'm learning that what I want is a bigger handle. Regardless of the size of the hook, I want something that has a bigger handle, but isn't like a weird shape.
Right.
Well,
what do you think the shape is that you're looking for?
Very similar to the Clover Amours, just that those change size based on the hook size. And so, like, say the J hook, it would be nice if they all had the same barrel size as the J hook,
right,
but just the different heads to work with. I don't know. Maybe I need to try one of those interchangeable hooks.
Or
I never took those seriously.
Oh wow! Okay.
But those, the handle will be the same size regardless. But I'm worried about, like, does the hook pop off while you're working and stuff like that?
Yeah. Only if something has gone wrong. Generally, because I have several interchangeable sets, and the only time the Addy clicks never come apart. The only time I have issues with the others is if it's me if I didn't tighten it in the first place, because there's a little pin.
I was going to say they have.
Yeah, there's a little pin that you're supposed to tighten it up the rest of the way. But most of the time, we're so hot to get started, we ignore the pin and just tighten it with our hands. And as you're working it, sometimes you will unscrew it. But it's not really an issue if you tighten it the last bit with the pin.
Because with the hook this small, my hand is in a very pinched position.
Yeah, I
can
see it.
Holding the hook for a really long time, it's just going to cause me some pain.
You know what? There are little overlays that you can put over your hooks. Maybe you want to try one of those.
I'm going to have to look for some that are meant for crochet hooks, because sometimes I try some that are meant for pencils and they're either too big or too small.
No.
And that's just, that's not going to work.
No. You might try Etsy because there are people making them specifically for different things.
So I am, for the first time, like in a long time, on the search for like a new hook. And like I said, it's just because I'm crocheting so much more now. The little things that might bother me before, and I could just like stop and put a project down for as long as I want it. I can't do that anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't want how much time I spend crocheting to be determined by hand paint.
No,
I
absolutely.
want to do everything I can to minimize the likelihood of having hand paint so I can work on my own schedule. Mm-hmm. But I have to say, this is nice. It feels nice in your hand. And I don't know if like these have to be conditioned in any way because they're wood, or it looks like maybe they have some sort of coating on them. I don't know. But like I said, they're not slippery against the yarn. And I do like that quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
That's a different thing because I've only worked with aluminum hooks. I didn't know.
See, and she's always talking about how knitters, you have so many different types of needles. It's for that reason.
Yeah, but if, like, say I went to wood hooks, I would just be using wood hooks. I wouldn't switch off with wood and aluminum. And
I switched just because, like I said, some yarns are super slick.
Yeah, because you don't have a hook on that. I don't have to worry about that as much because that's going to catch that slippery yarn.
Some yarns are super slick, okay? I told you, I tried to knit alpaca on my higher sharps, and it was like wrestling an alligator covered in oil.
Yeah, I can't do all them different types of needles y'all do. The only ones that worked for me kind of was the prim ones because they had the little nub.
Yes, they had the nubbing.
I love the nub. I love the nub because that's the only thing that made sense to me because I was like, how do you get the yarn to go where you want it to go without a hook? I still say knitting is sorcery, but that's okay.
No, it's definitely not sorcery. Definitely not sorcery. And the prim ergonomics are really nice needles.
I just tried the prim ergonomic hook though. They're crazy long. They're really, really long hooks. Like the body is long, but then like the head of like from the head to like the where the handle starts getting fatter is really long. And I felt like I had less control. I felt like I was way back here trying to make the yarn move.
Honestly, that's my favorite hook.
No,
that's my absolute favorite hook.
And really that body design, that almost like a blimp design where it just gets wider and then narrower, doesn't work for as well for
a pencil hold.
Yeah. So the search continues.
Well, you know what? At least now you know that wood is an option.
Yeah.
And definitely check Etsy because there are people whittling all kinds of crochet hooks in all sorts of shapes.
I saw some really pretty resin ones, and I don't think I'd actually be able to use them, but I would collect them just as like objet d'art.
Look, I would collect them. And you know, I love the furls ones that are part wood, part resin. Gorgeous.
Well, the ones on Etsy, they were all resin, but they had like little flowers in them. I was like, well, that's nice.
If you wanted to collect hooks as an art object, there's ones out there that qualify.
So that's what I'm doing here. This is not specifically for a project, although I do intend to make a sweater out of this yarn at some point. I think this is just Premier's Serenity sock.
Oh, okay.
And I got a clearance on Premier's website, so I think I paid like $2 a ball. I was so happy. So I bought sweater quantities in 2 colors. But I really like this color scheme.
Yeah, that's kind of gorgeous.
Greens and maroons and a little bit of blue.
It reminds me of grape leaves, grapes and grape leaves.
So it's just really pretty. And I don't know when I'm going to get around to it, but I needed, the yarn to swatch with my wooden hook. And it was just there.
It just volunteered.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here.
Okay, so what else you got going on?
Okay, so I was thinking yesterday after we talked, and I was like, oh.
Every time you say that, I think about This is Beauty and the Beast. Who I'm afraid I've been thinking. A dangerous pastime, I know.
It is a dangerous pastime.
Oh my! Every time you say I've been thinking, I want to go, a dangerous pastime. Yeah, anyway, go ahead. You were thinking.
I was thinking. Now, I have not started swatching for this yet. The next sweater with sleeves I want to do is the Heart on My Sleeve sweater by Top of the World Knitted. I'll put it in the description bar.
Somewhere.
Somebody
designed
somewhere
a sweater. Yes.
designed a sweater that I kind of fell in love with just because it had these cute little hearts on the sleeves as elbow patches. So I asked someone if she would volunteer to crochet me a couple of hearts because I wanted my hearts to be crocheted.
And someone said no. And if you watch one of the videos coming out about our future making, there's a story.
Someone said no. So I'm like, okay, fine. I can do this.
We have a history with being asked to crochet hearts.
We have a history. So the stripy sweater you see with the little heart on the sleeve is the heart on my sleeve sweater. Adorable. And I love the idea of doing it in stripes. So I went around looking for the heart because I knew I didn't want to do a garter stitch heart. I wanted to do a crocheted heart that was a little bit lacy. So I found a pattern for a lace heart that's simple enough for me to crochet, since the expert crocheter sitting on the opposite end of the couch would just whip one out for me.
Evil Chris is making you make your own sweater.
Just the heart. I'm going to make the whole rest of the sweater.
It's part of the sweater.
And then and I know this is not the time to do it, but we were watching the news, right? And this woman came on to talk about a very serious matter, and I understood it was serious, but I could not take my eyes off the striping on her sweater. So I took a picture of the TV screen, and you see that stripy sweater up in the corner there? I'm going to stripe my sweater like that. And then I started to think about, well, what colors do you want to use for your sweater? And I definitely want to do something with that yellow and gray theme that's happening right now. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is something along the lines of this kind of spicy looking palette, because I really, really want the heart to be red. So I wanted to include a red that would work with those colors in my palette. So I'm going to look for a kind of orangey red to make my hearts out of. And I think the body of my sweater will be, I don't know if I'm going to do 2 colors or 3 colors. I might end up doing 3 colors, but probably like the yellow, the gray, and like a dark charcoal rather than a black. So this is just a little thing I do to kind of visualize some of my choices. And all I do is I grab the picture from wherever I find it on the internet, or if I took a picture with my camera, there it is, and I plop them into a Word document and just arrange them together. So, you can kind of see everything together. Now, I'm not even at a stage where I'm swatching any of this yet, but now I kind of see, okay, what kind of colors do I want to do? What do I want the heart to look like? How am I going to stripe this? So I was showing this to Mom earlier today, and she goes, oh, so you're not going to make that sweater? And I'm like, of course I'm making that sweater.
At what point do the changes make it like a subsidiary sweater, like something that owes to the original, but it's still kind of its own creation?
I don't know, because I'm going to use the body plan of that sweater. I'm going to use the sizing of that sweater. I'm going to use, the instructions for that sweater. But I feel like I'm just making surface changes, that I'm not really making a new sweater. I'm just making decorative change elements to that sweater. Because I don't necessarily want a black and white striped sweater, but I do want a stripy sweater. And I'm utterly charmed by the heart on the sleeve as an elbow patch.
That is actually quite cute.
So it's just another way you can think about your projects. I'm not doing anything structural to this sweater. I'm just changing the surface. And I'm pretty much doing the same thing with the vest. Because she said the same thing about the vest. She goes, oh, you're not making that vest. I don't think surface changes are that big a deal. And let us know if you'd like to see how to actually make your own inspiration board. You can make it the backdrop of your computer or whatever. Just have it somewhere you can see it. And it's just a great way to visualize your ideas. So I heard somebody has a swatch.
Kind of, sort of.
Okay, what is a kind of sort of swatch?
Because so two things. One, I don't remember what hook I used. So I'm going to have to make another swatch anyway.
Oh, no. You didn't make the knots?
I didn't make the knots.
Oh,
it might be 3.5 or 3.75 or I don't know. It's somewhere in the threes. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But, this is my fuzzy sweater. So I'm holding together mohair and Angora lace.
That's pretty.
I did some swatches, in 3 different stitch patterns to figure out which one I wanted to use. And I chose one. And now when you crochet, usually your first row, that's just your chains, is tighter than everything else. And so, you get a little pulling and it'll curl until you've done enough rows for the tension to kind of balance out. Well, with this particular stitch pattern, it turns out that my base row is actually going to be wider. And I don't know if you can see the shape. See that little tail over there?
Yeah.
Because of the way the stitch is being worked. Basically, you're doing almost like a single crochet 3 together.
Yeah.
So you're working over 3 stitches. So when you pull through, you're kind of cinching those 3 stitches together.
Yeah.
So every row that's not the base row is coming out. They're all coming out the same tension, but different from that first row.
Wow.
So instead of going up a hook size to make the first row, I think I'm going to have to go down a hook size.
Yeah.
To make my first row, which is very unusual. That's not typically done.
But that's amazing. Could you hold that up again? Because it's really a significant difference.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, I don't think it would make a huge difference in terms of the actual garment, but I just want to see if I can make that go away.
Yeah.
By going down.
Well, are you going to piece the garment, or are you going to do it in the round?
No, I'm going to piece it.
Because your pieces won't be rectangular. They'll be
but it'll just be that one row.
True. And you can always sew that in if you really wanted to.
Or I just do some sort of edging.
Yeah.
And try to just snatch it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just want to see, I haven't done this stitch pattern before. I really like it though.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
So it's got, I don't know if you can see the texture, but yeah. So this is the stitch pattern I definitely want to use. So I'm just going to try to work on that tiny little quirk. It's just the first row of single crochet where that is the issue. But it's a lot. I can't believe it. So I'm just going to experiment. I'm going to have to do another swatch anyway, because I'm going to have to experiment, see which 2 hook sizes I'm going to have to combine to make this a little bit more even. But this is going to be for a sweater, a cardigan that I'm making. And I'm going to be trying to recreate the shape of a sweater I have in my closet right now. Mm-hmm. So I just have to take some measurements from that and see how it goes. If I finish it in time, it'll be a Christmas sweater. I might just put on any sweater and put on a Christmas brooch and call it good.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, that's why I have a kind of sort of swatch, because it's not going to be the last swatch. She still needs a little work.
Yeah. I'm 4 swatches deep now.
Yeah, that's a little excessive. Although I guess I'm getting up there. I did my swatches all in one piece, but I did different stitch patterns. Right. So I don't know how that counts. I think it's still one swatch.
It's like 3 swatches, because you're swatching different things.
I'm calling it one swatch.
Okay. You know what? If that makes you feel better,
it does make me feel better.
Go for it. Not a problem.
So there. But yeah, that's my kind of sort of swatch.
Now we know what a kind of sort of swatch is. It's actually a swatch.
Kind of sort of.
But there's some information missing.
Kind of sort of.
Mm-hmm. I see you have a book.
No.
But I do see you have a book. Tell us about that.
I have an idea that I'm not ready to talk about yet.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just going to tell you that it involves doilies.
Okay.
But I'm not actually going to be making doilies. See, that's the thing. I'm going to try to repurpose my doily patterns. So I just bought this. This is my second doily book now. The other one was like vintage, so they're like all in black and white. Like you can tell they're like from really old publications.
Yeah.
This one, I believe the designer actually like just created these for the book, and it's called Absolutely Gorgeous Doilies by Patricia Christopherson. And I just have an idea. I've been thinking.
Dangerous pastime.
I know. But I have a problem with sweaters, that a certain style of sweater that I've been trying to figure out, and I feel like my doily patterns might help me solve that problem. So, but I want to like play around with it and experiment and like have something to show and like talk about in depth before I like, yeah.
But you know what? I want us to be talking about the process. And this is all part of the process. The vague thoughts, the something that you can't quite, put your finger on. And I want us to work through that here on the podcast, because I think that a lot of people think that you just go from point A to a finished object. And no, the road is very, very twisty and turny.
I know, but I'm not used to showing all the twists and turns.
That's okay.
I like just, pretending I'm doing a magic trick and like, oh, here's a ball of yarn. Oh, now here's a sweater, right? I like that part.
You see that in Reels and TikToks. They show you a ball of sweater and the person's dancing, a ball of yarn, and then they go, whoop, and they're wearing a full sweater.
Yeah.
I that like it worked that way.
Preserving the illusion.
Would that it actually worked that way.
But I've got, an idea that's really going to involve some trial and error and trying things over and over and over and over and over again. So I need time. I need some time to just sit with this one idea, and I've got like other things like going on, and gotta deconstruct the store and all that stuff. So don't ask me where this magical time is going to come from. I don't know. I need a time turner.
It's a mystery.
I need a time turner. Which I still maintain gave Hermione an unfair advantage.
It gave her more work. She was taking extra classes and no one else was taking.
But racking up extra credits and getting to advance faster than the other students.
She dropped out of Hogwarts.
Unfair. I thought only Harry dropped out.
No, all three dropped out. She eventually went back.
Okay,
got her whatever their certificate is, but they all did drop out.
Well, I think they probably had a little PTSD and needed to recover, but she went back. That doesn't count. She still got her degree. And it helped that she had all them extra classes under her belt.
She did do all the work, though.
Right.
I mean, it really wasn't a shortcut.
She had opportunity to earn, advancement that the other students, like literally, she was the only one who could take all those different. Other students had to choose between two classes that were happening at the same time, and she didn't. And she was just able to acquire more knowledge than her peers. And I still maintain that was unfair. But now I want the same unfair advantage.
I know, right? Oh, wait a minute. It was wrong, but I want it. I feel like there's a conflict there.
I don't.
I feel like there's a conflict.
I don't. It would be less unfair if, more people got the unfair advantage.
Okay, I see. All too clearly.
We've had this conversation a number of times.
Yes. And I'm like, I don't agree.
Unless bigots. But that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, we're not going down the wizards or bigots rabbit hole.
Am I wrong?
I didn't say you were wrong. Okay. I just said we're not going to go down that. I just wanted that on
camera.
Hole.
I just wanted that part on camera.
Okay.
How do we remember our part?
I don't know how we always end up somewhere we didn't intend to go.
Okay, so have you talked about everything? Let's talk about your makery.
I think so, because like I said, I've got 3 rounds to do on my sweater tonight, and that's what's going to happen.
So if you're doing 3 rounds today, how many days is that? Like, when are we looking at?
At finishing the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
Probably in like 3 days or so.
Okay, and then you still have ribbing?
Yeah.
And then sleeves?
Girl.
Oh.
Hello.
The world's longest sweater to make. Okay.
The others will be faster.
Keep at it. All right. We're almost in the home stretch.
We are. I feel it. I get excited every time I finish a round now. I'm like, yes.
I get excited every time she finishes a round. It's gonna be cute when it's done.
Oh yeah, I'm already loving it. I'm already loving it. I'm planning to wear it every single day.
Oh God. Okay. Don't sleep in it. Don't sleep in it.
Wool should be very comfortable.
Oh,
sleeping.
okay.
It breathes.
I feel like this is a good place to sign off.
Yeah.
Our mommy would like us to ask you to please like and subscribe. So please like and subscribe.
Indeed. And please keep an eye out for our upcoming class schedule. We have project classes ongoing right now. Check them out on our website. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ooh, I'm still baking. Okay, there we go.